Their last major accomplishment was at the Olympic Games. They were third, just ahead of the Americans.
Gunther of East Germany waiting for her score. And there it is, 9-7-1-2. Not an outstanding score at all for her, and her total is 19.437 in the middle of the second of 4 rotations. But that brings us to our leader, Natalia Kalinina of the Soviet Union, who, remember, scored on the vault at 9.987.
Watching Kalinina in the workouts preceding this competition, I would not have guessed her to be this strong in the competition. She had troubles with a few of her elements, but she has really sharpened up and looks terrific here.
But 16 years old, from the Ukraine, and last year in the Soviet Nationals, and remember her teammate, she was first in the all-around.
First saw Natalia at the American Cup, where Kim Zmeskal just edged her out.
Well, the vault was nearly perfect, 9.987, and yet they say that for Kalinina, this is her best event.
This is a beautiful event for her. She is a very elegant gymnast, and you'll even see it on this event where usually power and strength and swing technique takes over. She's also very pretty in her movement.
Or hold your finger over the flash mechanism. Thank you very much. Our next bars competitor is 16 years old from the Ukraine. The Soviet Union, this is Natalia Kalinina.
Plenty of difficulty in this routine. And most importantly, she doesn't give away any tenths of a point for form deductions. Nice giant with a full pirouette. Right into a high delta. Never see her legs come apart. Her second release move, a reverse heft. And a half-in, half-out dismount. That is a full twisting double back somersault. Very difficult off the uneven bars. As I said, she has more than enough difficulty. 2 major release moves, a very difficult dismount, the full pirouettes on the top of the bar, and perfect form to boot.
She started the second rotation in first place, and we saw nothing there, Candy, that's going to dislodge her from there.
Very difficult to see any deductions in this routine. She could be a little bit higher on her release moves. Right here, giant full pirouette. Very nicely executed into a delchev. It's when the twist occurs before the somersault. It makes it a delchev. You'll see oftentimes in the competition what's known as a ginger. It's almost the same move, but a little bit different. Reverse hecht. That's the release move that could have been a little bit higher over the bar.
Here she is again, 9.937 for this performance.
And look at that dismount. A half twist on the first somersault, half twist on the second somersault. A lot of trick in that movement.
9.987 in the vault, 9.937 in the unevens. That is your leader as of this moment, Natalia Kalinina of the Soviet Union. A lot more women's gymnastics in the all-around competition still left as we go for the gold, silver, and bronze at the Tacoma Dome. Back in a moment.
What do we mean when we say TBS is taking bold steps for Earth? Well, for the past...
In the audience, the Zmeskals. And of course, they've seen their daughter Kim fall on the uneven bars and await her performance. She'll be last on the balance beam. And there's young Kim. Disappointment thus far, but still the apparatus finals tomorrow, the individual events. And a good showing tonight. She had the best all-around score last night. But of course, that did not count. It just simply helped the Americans win the silver in the team event. Now let us go to the uneven parallel bars. And this is Janine Rankin, right, of Canada.
And she finished 20th yesterday in the all-around competition. And the way the qualification procedure goes, it's the top 16, only 2 per country. So they drop out the 3rd and 4th of the other countries that are ahead. So she was able to move into those top 16 spots. Nice front giant, nice high Jaeger, little form break there. Just little form breaks throughout the routine. Right there, the legs separating. Giant swing with a full pirouette, little off center. Another giant swing. And a tuck double back dismount. Just not as strong as the other competitors here in this competition.
One of the Canadian veterans, 18 years old, out of Toronto, Janine Rankin, for the World Championship team. And now let us go over to the balance beam, and there's Boganskaya, the champion that did not qualify, but the Soviets put her on the team, dropping others off the team to make room for her. She's second after one rotation.
Front tuck mount right into, you see Son jump with both legs bent, called a double stag. Back handspring to 2 layout step outs, slight balance break there. She had to check it. And when you are in competition for the gold medal, you can't afford even tiny breaks. She moves very quickly on the balance beam, showing confidence in her movement. Gainer, layout, step out. Moving very steady, only had that one balance break. And her dismount, a round up double back, pulls it around, almost a perfectly stuck landing. Just had to check it just a little bit, but she knows those are slight deductions. And as I said, the person who wins this competition will score well over 9.9 on every event.
To go back in time before we take a look, as she takes the amount here, 9.812 is Janine Rankin's score over on the unevens. Now let's watch Svetlana.
Here's that first tumbling pass where she was just a little bit off. 2 back handsprings to 2 layout step outs, but she really pulls it back on. Sign of a veteran. Many others might have had more of a major balance break there. Nice angle to see exactly how much room you don't have on the balance beam. As Hannah said, it's 4 inches wide. It's actually just under 4 inches wide. And a double back. She was going for a stuck landing. She just had to check it just a little bit.
9.887. So she remains in second place, almost a 1/10 of a point behind Kalinina, her teammate. Onity remains third. Alicia Fernandez of Spain has moved into 4th. Rueda has dropped to 6th. Kathleen Stark, another member of the East German team. And as we've said before, this is the last time they'll be competing as East Germans. It'll be a unified German team after this. 15 years old, out of Rostock.
Handspring layout step out. You can see from that angle how straight you have to be with the balance beam to allow for no balance deduction. It's one of the special requirements on balance beam, combining dance elements directly connected.
The Germans say that Kathleen is their best performer here in Tacoma.
Back handspring, right to a tuck jump. Anytime a gymnast has to bend at the waist to correct her balance, that's more of a major deduction. Usually 2 to 3/10 of a point deduction. Straddle jump. Kathleen was ranked just behind her team, behind Janine Rankin of Canada. She was 21st. In the all-around yesterday. Round off, double back dismount, nice height, and a good landing. Anytime you hit your balance beam routine, you're very, very happy, very pleased.
Kathleen Stark. The German team is rebuilding and will be united with the West Germans to compete for the new team.
She opened with one of the more difficult mounts, so round off, layout, step out, up to the balance beam. follows it directly by a back handspring layout step out. You can see exactly how precise the gymnast's feet have to land on the balance beam. Here's where she had a little bit of a break. Round off back handspring. She steps right into a tuck jump. That's another requirement on balance beam. They're trying to encourage the gymnast to combine dance and acrobatic elements. A double back dismount with a very nice landing.
While we await her score, next up will be Betty Okino, who had that slight break as she hit with her ankle on the unevens, but Betty is the national champion in the beam event. This is her event as we take a look at Kathleen Stark, who waits for her score before Betty can go. But at the top of the scoreboard, as we said, it is the two Soviets, Natalia and Svetlana, as expected. Although Kim Zemeskova was expected to give them a real tumble, but she fell, if you were not with us, on the unevens, her first event.
9.587.
The score was 9.587.
Next up from the United States of America, Elizabeth Okino.
Now, Elizabeth Betty Okino out of Elmhurst, Illinois, trains with Bella Caroli down in Houston. And remember, she's our national champion in this event.
And as I said yesterday during the competition, she's just beautiful in this event. Really shows off those long legs. Here's one of her most difficult passes in the routine. Back handspring, two layout step outs. Whoa. It's a nice save, but unfortunately that will cost her. Switch leg leap into a Sisson. It's really unfortunate seeing them have these slight breaks in the competition. They performed so well yesterday. That is so difficult. A double turn on the balance beam really shows off her dance training. Nice handstand showing several different positions, from a reverse plunge to a plunge and lowers down to straddle split, showing strength and flexibility. Here's her dismount pass. She does two back handsprings to a double back. And one hop on the landing. It was a nice routine, but unfortunately it did have that fairly large balance break.
Well, it was quite obvious that it's going to take some kind of combination of circumstances for the American team to medal in the All-America. The two Soviets are at the top. Onodi of Hungary looks very strong. Fernandez of Spain, Rueda of Spain.
Here's her two layout step outs, and you can see right there where she just gets a little bit crooked as she steps down to go for the landing. And this was beautiful. Double turn. You can see her spot at the end of the beam. It's a very risky move to do on the balance beam. She arches over, almost touches that toe on the beam. Lowers down to a plunge, right into straddle splits.
9-8-1-2 for Betty. 9-8-1-2.
And the double back with a slight step.
Where there's will, there's a way. Betty Okino has now moved into 5th place. It could happen. 2 rotations for her yet remain here at the Tacoma Dome. Earlier tonight, Kathy Johnson referred to the fact that the Romanians' gymnastics program is in disarray. They only sent one competitor. Well, we asked Bella Caroli, who is the Romanian ex-coach, who is here now, what happened to the Romanian squad? Why aren't they sending more than one person? Here's his explanation.
Financially, that country is in deep trouble. And when these times, when even they have to pull back the athletes, not being able to support financially the trip, that's a very sad situation. I know how Romanians, how proud they've been, all of us, back in the old times. The Romanians been more proud than anything ever of their own athletes, Nadia and all the other kids who've been so famous, and they gave so much pride for those people. And if they came down to the point, they cannot even send them out to compete. That's a very sad situation, and sure, I feel very bad about it.
Bela, of course, who developed Comaneci and many other champions, now in Houston, Texas. We called him, what, the Romanian cowboy. He's got a ranch there with deer and all kinds of animals on it, and he is trying to develop an American team that is competitive. Bela says that last night's performance was the best by an American team in some time, but they're on their way back. We're waiting now for the score of Kosuge of Japan as we listen to Bela. This is her performance moments ago as we wait for her score. Check that.
Oh,
we are now over at the uneven bars, and that is Kyoko of Japan.
This is her teammate over on the uneven bars, and she's doing very well so far. Beautiful high front Jaeger. Their coach is the famous Mitsuo Sukahara, who invented the vault, and he's done an excellent job with these women.
Oh, my. It fell right on that right shoulder.
I don't think that's what hurt worse. It's hitting that bar. And I have seen that coming since the workout sessions. They are very, very close to that bar. She held on a little bit too long. It pulled her back into the bar as she rotated. Oh.
Kyoko has fallen on the unevens as Kim Zmeskal fell on the unevens, and Kim Zmeskal is getting ready to go right now on the balance beam.
This is one of the most difficult things in gymnastics to do, is come back from a fall on the previous event and try and put that out of your mind. Kim is a very tough competitor. Here's her most critical pass. Back handspring, 2 layout step outs, perfect landing.
14 years old. There was some question whether or not she would compete yesterday. Bursitis in her heel, tendonitis in her wrist. But she was tops all around last night, but not tonight.
These Americans are still fairly inexperienced in major competition. This has been a wonderful opportunity for them to compete against the best and really show their competitiveness. Back handspring, layout step out down to one knee, showing a little bit of originality. Comes her dismount, round up, double back. All right, just one slight little hop on the landing, a very nice routine. A tough little competitor comes back from the uneven bars after that mishap.
She's a homegrown, too. She just came in off the street to Bela years ago. Not from outside the state or outside the city of Houston.
Her mount is a straddle press to a handstand, showing the strength. And this move shows strength and balance and control. All of the aspects that you must have in gymnastics. Of course, the dismount, she shows the power that she has in her legs way up in the air on that double back dismount.
Kim Zmeskal going on. Her score 9.862. 9.862. We were watching Seo Kyoko and her bad moments on the uneven. There she is live as she prepares for her next rotation, and this is what happened to her.
You can see she holds on a little bit too long, rotates back into the bar. She is very, very lucky. She actually hit her head on the bar, then her shins on the bar, which obviously stops your rotation.
Kalina, Soviet Union first. Boganskaya, Soviet Union second. Lili of China has moved into third. The best American, Betty Okino, at 6. Let's go back to Larry King.
Thanks, Jim. Some more moments with Vladimir Posner, our Soviet commentator. On this switch, Svetlana out, Svetlana in, the injury, your thoughts?
Well, I think they pulled a fast one, quite frankly. I have enormous respect for Boginskaya, which is the correct pronunciation of these difficult Russian names. She's a wonderful gymnast, but she did fall, and I think what they tried to do is give her an extra chance, and that's really not the way you do sports, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Now, do you think they faked an injury of someone else to get her back in?
The rules are that if you do have an injury, you can put someone back in, and I don't think that the injury really was there.
All you have to do is report the injury. There's no medical check.
You have a doctor on the team, and the doctor says, yes, this person has an injury, cannot come out, and you believe the doctor.
So we better understand the Soviet Union. Would this be accepted form to knock this, as you're doing now publicly?
I don't know. I'm telling you what I think. You know,
would there be any problem if you were doing this in Moscow?
This would probably get back to Moscow very fast.
But you're not worried?
No, I'm not, no.
Glasnost is here, Vladimir.
Well, you know, worst comes to worst, they'll substitute someone. They'll say, I got an injury.
Say goodbye to Vladimir.
So long.
When we return, our roaming reporter, Steve Largent, he's in Discovery Park as the Voyager.
All right, Larry, they have just begun the third rotation, and again, after 2 rotations, the scores have the Soviets atop. Natalia Kalinina of the Soviet Union. The world champion Boginskaya is second. Li Li of China is third. And coming up to one of her better events, the beam. And we'll check on the third round competition in a moment, but now let's check on Hannah Storm.
Well, coming up is the floor routine for Svetlana Boginskaya, Jim, and this could be the key where she makes her move. She now trails her teammate Kalinina by less than 1/10 of a point, but her floor routine has been the rage. At the 1989 World Championships, this avant-garde, very unusual floor routine, she got a 10 on that to take over the all-around title. It's a wild routine. I think that it's absolutely going to knock your socks off. She's not going to win anything with her tumbling, but she could definitely, with her style, take over the lead from her teammate. You're going to love it. It's a real treat.
All right, Hannah, while waiting for Boginskaya, Janine Rankin of Canada is on the beam and has just fallen off the beam and has remounted. And they alternate the competition so that everybody here can see each event as it happens instead of trying to separate your mind and your eyes from one event to the other. Rankin is concluding as Boginskaya is getting ready. And the Soviets as a group, Kathy, are just, well, I'll use Hannah's term, will knock your socks off on floor exercises. They're terrific.
They will knock your socks off and bring tears to your eyes. They are so graceful and elegant on this event. Boginskaya has a little bit different style than many of the other Soviet gymnasts. It is a little bit avant-garde. She shows different types of dance elements in the routine, but very much uses the music.
I've talked about it since coming here 30 years ago on the baths of Cala in Rome. Larissa Latinina, who has won more gold medals internationally than any other gymnast, was the first that I recall putting ballet-type dance movements into the floor exercise. And that's 30 years ago, and the Soviets have perfected on what she did.
Well, Latinina was very much ahead of her time and sort of started the pace for the Soviet Union to remain ahead of the game.
The world champion.
Opens with a full twisting double back in tight position. Very well done. A lot of attention paid to the details of the routine. With 1.5 twists through to a double back. Very difficult combination pass. And really difficult for a gymnast of her height. 5, 3.5 to fit that in the diagonal. And last tumbling run is a double back and a beautiful landing. She just really does not give away any 1/10 of a point for form deduction. And back to the theme of the routine. Very nicely done, very entertaining, and as I said, a little bit different style than many of the other Soviet gymnasts.
Boginskaya trying to catch her teammate Kalinina, who was last to go on the balance beam in this rotation. On the floor X, still to be seen, Betty Okino of the USA and Kim Zemelska of the USA.
And Henrietta Onodi, who was just in front of Bogunskaya here on the floor exercise, scored a 9.887. She was in 4th going into that event. So she's right there in the hunt as well. We're looking at her first pass. Beautiful form. Laid out position with a full twist in the first somersault. Pikes the second somersault. I really like this pass. It's a 1.5 twist through to a double back. She's very efficient on these double backs. She actually does cowboy, though, meaning she pulls those legs out to the side. And most of the time, that is a slight deduction. We'll see what they do with the world champion.
You got a very slight deduction, 9.975 for Bogunskaya. At the moment, with Kalinina still to go on the beam, Svetlana is in the lead. But moments ago, Henrietta Onodi of Hungary was on the same apparatus, if you call the floor exercise an apparatus, and this is her performance, because remember, she is in the hunt, as Kathy said, for a medal.
She was the bronze medalist at the recent European Championships on this event. She has wonderful tumbling passes. Shows all different types of tumbling abilities, twisting and somersaulting. She has really matured since I saw her 2 years ago. Whip back through to a full twisting double back. Same element that Bogunskaya did, except Henrietta Onodi tumbled into it. Makes it a little more difficult. Watch this triple twist. Incredible. The best triple twist I've seen done. Watch this pass. Double twist, punch front. Tumbles right out of it. And you think that's her last pass? Wrong. She does 4 tumbling passes in her routine. Most of the gymnasts only do 3. Finishes with a pike double back. Can't land it any better than that. Tremendous job on the floor exercise.
And that was a 9.887 for 16-year-old Henny Onodi of Beskiskaba, Hungary. I love what she wrote down when they said, what are your favorite things for eating? Music, stuffed chicken and vanilla ice cream.
I think this really shows what the reputation of a world champion can do for you. Henrietta actually did so much more difficulty than Bogunskaya. But Bogunskaya is a little bit cleaner, a little more mature on her dance. And I tell you what, the reputation that she has does not hurt her. But Henrietta is doing an excellent job in this competition. This is absolutely beautiful. Finishes those twists. That's 3 twists in the air and drops it right down. Her final tumbling run was a double pike, but of course, remember, she did the side tumbling run in the middle of the routine, which really increased the difficulty.
Age 16. There is her score, as we told you, 9.887. The story tonight remains the Soviets are in the hunt for the gold and the silver with Onodi and Fernandez and Li of China. As we take a look now at the beam. And this is Gokian of Romania.
And this is the tiniest gymnast in the competition, I think. 4'5". Handspring, 2 layout step out. Very nicely done.
From Foshan in Romania, their top junior.
Back handspring. Almost a layout, almost a tuck. Hard to determine exactly what that was. It was a back somersault. The position was not quite clear enough. It's really very sad that the Romanians could not send an entire team In fact, from what I hear, they had actually sent the team to the airport, and they found out after they got there that they were unable to go.
And is it true they've closed many of their training centers for gymnasts?
That's what I've heard. Nice job on the balance beam. Round off, double back dismount. Slight little step on the landing.
Gina Gogin, 13 years old. And here's Betty Okino, 15 years old, approaching her performance in the floor exercise. And we'll bring you Gojin's numbers, her score, when we get them.
She has had minor to medium breaks on both her first two events. For a strong performance here. Try and get back up to that 9-9 range. Opens with a full twisting double back. Betty has become much more aggressive in competition. In fact, in 1989 at the National Championship, she didn't even place, and she ended up second at the recent 1990 USA Championships. Triple turn, just slightly fell out of it. Very difficult turn. Middle tumbling run, hike double back. She was really on those tumbling passes. You can see she has tape on her toes. I'm sure it is for the turn. She does a double turn on beam and a triple turn on floor. Just makes those turns a little bit easier. For those of you that don't know, the floor exercise is a carpet material. Tuck double back. Very nice landings on all of her tumbling runs. Very clean, precise, good strong routine for Betty.
Betty Okino. American flags in evidence, but they won't get a medal tonight in the all-around. Improbable, but the apparatus remains tomorrow. And if anybody can keep them ready, it is Bella and Marta Caroli.
You mentioned Marta. Bella gets most of the attention, obviously, from that couple, but Marta, very much the backbone of that coaching staff. She is an excellent coach on balance beam for these kids. Full twisting double back, just pulls it right around, and as I said, her strength here was really the landings at the tumbling runs. She doesn't do as much difficulty as, say, the Soviets, but she does these quite well and doesn't give away that 1/10 of a point with an unstable landing. And she ended with a tucked double back.
While awaiting her score, Gina Gogin of Romania got a 9.737 on the beam, 9.887. That moves Betty Okino into third place, remembering that Natalia Kalinina is yet to go. But as of the moment, she's in third, so she'll be about fourth. Lili is also in the hunt. It's not over yet, is it? Let's go to Larry King.
We have, oh, look at that logo in the bed.
Our leader at the end of the first two rotations, Natalia Kalinina, is yet to go on the beam, and this is the third rotation. Kim Zemeskal, the America's best hope, who fell on the uneven bars, is about to go in the floor exercise once the score is in on Mari Kosuge of Japan, who has just completed her performance. And Lili of China, who has just completed her performance on the balance beam at this moment, is in second. You would expect that Kalina would take over first, Boganskaya remain in second, and Lili third. But Okino is still in the hunt, and Kim Zemeskal is not tonight, Kathy, having the kind of night she had last night. But she's got to keep the level of performance up. I'm sure she will, looking ahead to the individual apparatus of tomorrow night. Kim getting ready for her performance. Only 14 years old and just 14, Bella Caroli, her coach, down in Houston, Texas.
Regardless of how Betty and Kim finish this evening's competition, they have really shown the international judges something here. So they will definitely know them now. So the next time they come out in international competition, the World Championships next year, the Olympic Games in '92, they have already put their names out there, and the judges are very aware of them and aware of what they're capable of.
The Zemesco parents looking on. Their young daughter is next up. She's just waiting for Kyoko of Japan to complete her performance on the balance beam, and it is just about over. That is why Kim is waiting.
Kimbo.
And here's Bella Caroli talking to her while he waits.
He calls her Kimbo, little nickname he has for her.
On the beginning, it was
All right, Kyoko has just completed her work on the balance beam. Kim Zemesco, let us watch her. And a reminder that the individual gold medals, 4 of them will be awarded tomorrow night, and you'll see it here on the Goodwill Games coverage.
You can hear Bella in the background, strong. Full twisting double back. Certainly has the audience behind her. Very nice double turn. This is a great pass. 3 whip back. Through to a double back.
Get them all.
Always a crowd favorite. Yesterday how much the crowd does help her here. Finishes with a double back. Very nice routine for Kim.
Kim Zemesco.
It won't take away the disappointment of falling from the uneven bars and therefore out of the medal hunt.
I know.
But it sure feels good.
As we await her score, and note that the Soviets are in the lead with Kalinina still to go, let us watch Kim one more time.
She really did a nice job here. Pike, full twisting double back. It's so hard to not become disheartened after failing in the first event. You have to come back. You've got 3 events to go. And she's really showing a lot of heart.
Oh my, the score, watch it. 9-9-5-0.
And that equals the highest score of the evening. She ties with Boginskaya, who scored a 9.95 on the uneven bar.
Maybe not tonight for Kim Zemesco, but there's always tomorrow night and the individual events.
Pass the word. Prime time is this.
Natalia Kalinina, at the end of 2 rotations, she led. This is her 3rd rotation, the last in the beam. 16 years old from the Ukraine, looking to take over the lead that she's held through the first 2 rotations.
And you could see she needs better than a 9.888 to keep the lead over Boginskaya after 3 events. And she is capable of that on this event. Full twisting back handspring swing down. It's becoming much more of a popular move, but it is still very difficult. Soviets do better than anyone in the world is make difficult elements picture perfect.
Sorry, we had a little problem with our camera there, but from a different angle now.
2 back handsprings to a layout step out. Moving very well. Look at the smallest of details, the perfectly pointed toes, the hand movements, the arm movements. Everything is stretched to the absolute fullest. Dismount, a full twisting double back, very difficult. 1 step on the landing, but that is a very difficult dismount off the balance beam. You've seen them time and time again on the floor exercise, and it's a difficult pass on the floor exercise.
Coming to the close of rotation number 3 of the 4 rotations here, and Natalia awaits her score with her teammates and her coach.
Here's her back handspring, 2 back handsprings to a layout step out. Can't be any more steady than that. Watch the dismount. A full twist on the first somersault. And pulls that second one around. Of course, takes that step, but really, that is the only deduction in the routine.
While we await for her score, we told you that Li of China had an outstanding beam performance that has moved into medal consideration. So let us go back in time while we wait for the score and see the performance of Li of China in the beam.
The Chinese are always so beautiful on this event. They're very innovative, very creative. Watch this mount. We've seen it on men's parallel bars. A Healy spin down to the balance beam. Steffi Kraker did that many, many years ago. Of course, she was one of the top East German gymnasts back in the 70s. 2 layout step outs. Again, when we look at that angle, you can really see how straight those gymnasts must be. Beautiful leaps. Showing her flexibility and her balance. And a backspin on the balance beam. Again, showing her flexibility with the back arch. As I said, they are so innovative and creative that the routines are very exciting, very risky, but you would never know it because of how well they perform. Dismount, round off back handspring, double twist. Not the most difficult dismount, but boy, she packed the routine full of difficulty.
And she got on that a 9.875 and is in 3rd place.
That is a very nice mount. Very similar to the Healy spin that the men do on the parallel bars. You can really see how well their positions are as well. They finish every single move, every dance element, as if there was a photographer there taking a picture of every element. This is a nice move, a backspin, very risky. And of course, the dismount, she does a round off back handspring, double twist. Not as difficult as some of the other moves, but look how straight her legs are and together.
And she's in 3rd place. Kalinina, what did she get on the beam? 9.912. She is still the leader after 3 rotations. 1 to go. Kalinina first, Boginskaya second, both of the Soviet Union. Li of China 3rd, and Bediokina, the USA, is 5th. 1 to go. Let's go back to Larry.
Thanks, Jim. I don't pretend to know everything in the world, but I do not know why Lily did not get a 10 there. I just don't understand it. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk with some of the judges. To me, it was a 10. By the way, to Mama and Jim Simpson. James.
All right, Larry, and Lili, who is in 3rd, and Kalina, who is in 1st, will be on the floor exercises, and Boginskaya, who's in 2nd, and Onadi, who is in 4th, will be on the vault, as will both Americans, Kim Zmeskal and Bediokino. Now let's go down to Hannah Storm.
Betty Aquino from Elmhurst, Illinois at 15 years old. She's taken the seniors by storm absolutely this year. She was born in Africa and has something in common with Bella Caroli. They both lived in Romania at a time, but she's been living here since she was 2 years old and has been with Caroli for the last 6 months. The USA coaches tell us that Betty Aquino has made the most progress on the vault apparatus. However, Svetlana Boginskaya will be tough competition. She is the Olympic gold medalist on this event.
There's Betty Aquino, and she will be second to vault as this fourth and final rotation begins. Keep in mind, Kalinina, Soviet Union, first, Boginskaya, the world champion. Surprise entrant here tonight because she did not qualify. She was simply put here by the Soviet coaches. Second, Li of China, very good at many events, especially the beam and uneven parallel bars, is in third. Onadi of Hungary is fourth. Aquino is fifth. And Natalia Kalina's all-around scores have been outstanding. Floor exercise, and this is Zhang Wanning of China.
And Zhang Wanning is one of China's top juniors. This is the future of the Chinese gymnastics team. Full twisting double back. They are not as strong in the tumbling as they are on the other events and in the dance here.
15 years old from Shandong province.
Very tiny. That was a nice balance. Zhang Wanning is in 8th place right now after 3 events. Whip back through to a tuck double back. Yep, she stepped right out of bounds. I saw the flag go up. That's a 1/10 of a point deduction. Very young gymnast, but already showing good form, good execution. Very well-trained gymnast. Tuck double back. Like I said, they're not as strong in the tumbling. She almost didn't make that tuck double back, but she pulled it right around.
Zhang Wanning of China. Kathleen Stark of East Germany is the current competitor over on the vault, taking her second. And as we take a look at Zhang Wanning, this was her performance in the floor exercise.
Her first pass was a full twisting double back. She doesn't have the same height or rotation as many of the other top tumblers in the competition. And here's where she went out of bounds. She does a whip back, 2 back handsprings to a tuck double back. She just takes that double back too far back and has to hop. And of course, steps out of bounds. And she barely ekes this one out. Shows a little experience, though, knows right where that floor is and pulls it around.
Bright young smile from a bright young person, Zhang Wanning, while she awaits her score. In the meantime, Kathleen Stark, this is her second vault, and we will tell you, well, let's first of all tell you that Zhang got a 9.775 in the floor exercise, that they take the better of the 2 vaults. Tomorrow night in the apparatus finals, individual finals, they will average out the 2 vaults. But Kathleen Stark will take the better of her 2. And Betty Aquino will follow.
She had a 9.7 for her first vault. On the Yurchenko. The full twist in tuck position. It's not quite as difficult as what many of the other gymnasts are doing. They will do the Yurchenko vault in laid out position, but she's happy with that. It's nice and clean in the air and a very strong landing. Just good position on the board and the horse. And though I normally don't like that vault in tuck position, she is so clean and elegant. It looked nice.
Now down to the floor exercise in Gina Gogia, the lone entrant from Romania. We told you that story.
She is a terrific tumbler. Alternate through to a full twisting double back.
very young Gina. She's 13.
Shows excellent tumbling skills. She has trouble with that double turn every time I've watched her. She does some of the more difficult tumbling done and then has a little trouble with the double turn. I think that's the sign of a 13-year-old. She closes with another full in. Of course, a full in is a full twisting double back. It's a full twist on the first somersault, catch somersault on the second.
The young Romanian Gina Gurgia, and Betty Okino now waits the green light to go. Last night she went before the green light on the vault and got a 0 on it. But the green light is up, and here's her first vault.
So Yurchenko laid out with a full twist. She looked a little bit high on the horse on that pre-flight, and that's why her after-flight was not as high as it could be. Made the landing a little bit low. I'm sure he wants her to be a little bit more aggressive into the horse so she can get more push-off right here. She's just a little high. See, she was almost on her fingertips. It's hard to get a lot of push that way. So indeed, she can improve on that vault. I have seen her do it better. In fact, she did it better in the team competition yesterday, but far from a weak vault.
Betty now will take a very close look as you see what she's done here so far this evening in the all-around competition to make sure that green light is up before she goes on her second vault. How often, Kathy, do you change strategy or change a vault as a result of your first vault?
In this competition, very rarely. The gymnast usually performs the same vault twice to try and improve on their best vault. In the finals tomorrow, they have to do 2 different vaults from 2 different families. That makes vault finals all the more difficult.
9.762 on her first.
Better, much better. I could see it right as she made contact with the horse. She was in a position that was much better to push off the horse, get a good afterslide, a good clean twist, and of course a better landing.
Now here's Li Li of China. We are still live in the Tacoma Dome. Remember, at the end of 3 rotations, and there are only 4 altogether, she was in 3rd place, looking for the bronze.
Lily has been very impressive in this competition. Full twisting double back. Little stumble on that landing, but cute as can be here. It's hard to describe that any other way but cute. With back, 2 back handsprings to a double full. She's definitely an up-and-coming star, but she needs a little more difficulty in this floor routine, tumbling-wise. Really showing different styles of dance in the same routine. Preparing for her last tumbling run. Tuck double back. Oh my. I was just about to say, much better height than normal. But she way over-rotated that. That's a fall. 0.5 of a point.
And a possibility that may cost her a bronze medal as a result. Betty Okino's best vault was her second, 9.862. Lili needed a 9.71 to tie Betty thus far, with many of the leaders still to go.
We really have relatively inexperienced gymnasts here. They're great gymnasts, but they're very young, new to major international competition. I think that's why we're seeing some of the mistakes we're seeing.
At the moment, as you watch Lili, Betty Okino is at the top of the heap, but remember, the leaders have yet to go in this the final rotation. We are waiting the score of Lili.
Those of you that watched the competition yesterday, remember Lili performed a new move on the uneven bars, German giant into a reverse hecht. very innovative. But she had some problems right here. I was going to say it was so much higher than she's tumbled all week long, but over-rotates it. It's hard to see from here. She might have even put that hand out of bounds. It might have stayed in, though.
The red light is still up. The score is still not in on Lili. Still to come, Kalinina, who is almost at the end of this floor exercise rotation, and Boganskaya, who's dead last in the vault. Those are still to come. They are 1-2.
Now, what this might have done, this will obviously drop her down. And Ono D and Betty Okino are right in there. And Henrietta is going to the vault in this event. Not her strongest event, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Lili is waiting. We are waiting for her score. But whereas we thought there would be no race at all, no chance at all for an American, especially after Kim Zmeskal fell, there is still a chance for Betty Okino, and we'll check in on that. We'll give you the score when we come back. Oh, I got it now. 9.30, and Lili is in trouble. Chances for an all-around medal. When she fell on the unevens, her first apparatus up in the vault. She is the American all-around champion, but she will not be the Goodwill all-around champion. She was 10th after the third rotation.
I think this will give everyone at home the realization how far you can fall on one fall. Yurchenko with a full twist. Kim is very capable of doing that vault better. She can do this vault near perfection. I know she can get higher, and of course a better landing.
Stronger, faster on, down from the ground.
But as I said,
Okay.
only one fall Kim Zmeskal had in the first event. She dropped to 10th place after 3 events. Bella was telling her to be much stronger. Kim is capable of being much higher on the afterflight. And I'm sure we'll see that correction on this vault.
Talking about what one fall can do, as we watch Lili on her final moments in her floor exercise. She is now 5th, and that is without Boganskaya or Kalinina even getting up there. So she has fallen way down. Now
Try to block it.
Score for Kim Zmeskal. 9 points.
Gymnastics is very different from most sports when you can make a mistake and rebound and come back. Say in basketball, you miss a basket, you come back and get the next one and not necessarily lose the game.
Last time you'll see Kim Zmeskal tonight competing. You will see her tomorrow night going for the individual gold, silver, and bronze.
And a reminder that none of the scores carry over.
She's stronger.
Much better.
Yes, it's
much better. There you go. Good finish for her. That's the vault I knew she was capable of doing. Much more powerful. You can see a faster run, more aggressive into the horse, good push off, and that beautiful flare position in the air after the twist. And that is sticking your vault.
There was a little makeup for all the other ones, huh?
Yes, Bella, a little makeup for all the others. Watch the position and the push here, and then opens up, and look at the landing. She fought for that. She was up on her toes. She wasn't going to take a step. Much more aggressive. It's a true champion. You might not finish in first, but you can prove something to yourself and to everyone else watching.
Meanwhile, in the stands, there are the parents looking on. Everybody will be back tomorrow night. Here's the score, 9-9-2-5 for Kim Zmeskal. Stand by tomorrow night. But we get to decide tonight's medals.
You probably know that
Kim Zmeskal, it was not her night, but she finished strong. She's with Hannah Storm.
I'm down here with Kim Zmeskal, who hit all her routines after the unfortunate beginning. Why don't you tell these guys what you just told me about your uneven bar routine?
Well, I was just wishing that I would have done the same bar routine I did yesterday, but of course everyone wants to do the best routine, you know, all the time, and I can't always have it.
You got that same apparatus coming up tomorrow. What are you looking for there?
Well, I just mainly want to get my confidence back and hit the routine.
All right, thanks, Kim. Jim Simpson?
All right, Hannah, and here's Natalia Kalinina on the floor, her final rotation. She's led at the end of the first 3 rotations.
And I reserve the term exquisite for very few gymnasts. but I think she's got it. She's so beautiful here. She opened with a double layout. Very dramatic music. Of course, the change of pace. Full twisting double back, tumbles out of it, back the other direction to a layout step out. Again, I have to say, the Soviets do difficulty upon difficulty. I'm not quite sure what that was. A little wiggle, wind up for the last tumbling run. Full twisting double back.
Is there any doubt how good the Soviets are? And this night, how good Natalia Kalinina is.
So hard not to repeat yourself. But they continually show what gymnastics is all about. Poise, elegance, difficulty, competitive spirit, everything wrapped up in one.
Represents Canada, Kelly Wolsey.
It makes it even greater for the United States, who came so close in this competition with the best in the world. Look at that, a double layout, slight knee bend in the air. But again, we're watching in slow motion. The judges do not have that opportunity. And this is a fun pass. Full twisting double back, tumbles out of it, back in the other direction. Nice position in the air, very elegant layout step.
A 10, a perfect 10.
The
And
first
that wraps
of the
it up.
evening.
That wraps it up. The all-around champion getting a standing ovation.
She's so excited.
But 16 years old from the Ukraine. She has won it.
I've never quite seen anyone react like this to winning a major championship, scoring a 10.
Second ball, Kelly Wolsey.
Boginskaya now will be content to finish second. And the race is for third between Betty Okino, who has already competed, and Henny Onidi of Hungary, who is yet to vault.
Onidi, of course, would need a 9.787 to tie Betty Okino. Doesn't sound like a real high score, but it's not Onodi's best event.
The applause you hear is for Kelly Wolsey of Canada. And now here's Alicia Fernandez of Spain. 16 years old from Madrid. Down the road a bit in Barcelona, the Olympic Games of 1992.
And Alicia is a stick of dynamite. And I have to say here, Spain really has a very strong team. I think they're gearing up for the Olympic Games that will be in Barcelona, as you said. Full twisting double back. Oh, lands a little bit short. The rest of her events today have been so strong. Middle tumbling round is a front pike step out through to a pike double back. Very nicely done. Her teammate in this competition has also done very, very well, Eva Rueda. has really improved in the last couple of years. Closes with a tuck double back. Oh, lands short, puts her hands down. Oh, it's too bad. She has done so well the last 2 days of competition. Very disappointing.
And now let us quickly go over to the vault, for there is Henny Onady of Hungary, who can take the bronze medal. Remember, she gets the better of the 2 vaults. This is her first.
The handspring front pike with a half twist. A very nice landing there. It's a fairly difficult vault.
She needs 9.787 to tie Betty. Anything better than that, she will go ahead of Aquino for the bronze.
Let's take another look at this vault. See the height from the horse. It's not real high, but of course the landing was very good. She did hold that pike a little bit too long. The judges would rather see her open out of that pike here as she twists to show a little bit more amplitude.
She's waiting, we're waiting. There it is, right there. She is better. Betty Aquino already with a 9.812 in the vault.
Very tough competitor, because as I said, this is not her best event.
And Bogunskaya, the other medalist probability, is to follow her immediately.
Same vault, much better height, actually. Slight little hop on the landing, but very equal to the other vault. It might actually score a tiny bit higher.
You would have to believe that it's Kalinina, Bogunskaya, and Onady.
She's pleased. Very nice competition.
With Aquino in 4th.
Again, I think you'll see here, she was a little higher above the horse. Little cleaner twist. Just a slight check on the landing. She definitely makes the most of that push off the horse.
And as a cinch for the bronze, already has clinched that. It all depends on what Bogunskaya does in her final vaults, whether it's a second or third. A 9.837. She's at least got the bronze. Let's go down to Hannah Storm.
Lots of smiles down here with our individual all-around champion, Natalia Kalinina. Let's ask Natalia first, if we can. Her teammate, Svetlana Bogunskaya, was so overwhelming at the European Championships. Did she think that she would be able to beat her this afternoon?
I never thought so. But I hope to.
Did she, when she finished her floor routine, know that she had a perfect routine? Did she expect the 10?
Когда вы закончили вольное упражнение, ожидали вы, что получите десятку? No, she did not.
She's known as being a little bit of a nervous competitor. What were her emotions coming into the competition today?
Какие у вас были сегодня эмоции, когда вы собирались, выходили на упражнение? Just as usual, I felt very responsible. That's it.
We don't know much about her. Can she tell us a little bit about herself?
Мало знаем о вас. Расскажите, пожалуйста, о себе чуть-чуть. I'm from Kherson, the city of Kherson.
Svetlana Bogunskaya.
I am in Dynamo team.
Со мной вместе в группе тренируются Таня Лысенко и Лена Абрашитова.
Tanya Lysenko and Lena Abrashitova are together in my team.
Thank you very much. Now let's go back up to Jim.
Bogunskaya has just taken her first vault, and she is, of course, the gold medalist in Seoul, and this was her first vault just moments ago. We're waiting her score.
And it was beautiful. Yurchenko laid out with a full twist and a very slight awkwardness on the landing, only because she lands with one foot slightly in front of the other, and I see that she does that very often on all her landings. I don't know if it's because that ankle is a little bit sore. I have a feeling that's the reason.
Well, it's a 9.962, and she is in second place. She is a silver medalist no matter what she does now. The order of finish is already determined. Natalia Kalinina, who just talked to Hannah Storm, #1, the gold, Bogunskaya, the silver, and then from Hungary, Henny Onady. Betty Aquino, the USA, the top finisher, 4th. Zemeskal, who fell in her first event, winds up 6th.
Performing the same vault again. Identical to the first one, but as I said yesterday in the competition, oftentimes when you repeat the same vault done exactly the same way and you stick it, sometimes the score goes up anyway.
Boginskaya not expected to compete tonight because she fell last night, but named to the team to compete and will take the silvers. The Soviets continue their domination, and the Americans continue their pursuit. Onadai of Hungary did an outstanding job, and here is Boginskaya in the final event of the evening.
Tremendous job by both girls from the Soviet Union, and really also the Americans making that climb back after having some problems early on in the competition. Showing her championship form.
If there were disappointing performances tonight, Zemeskal falling in the first performance as you take a look at the all-around results, but then we came to the last performance by Kalinina. And I remember what you said, Kathy, as she began. This is an exquisite person and an exquisite routine, and this has got the perfect 10.
If I were to give anybody a 10.0 in this competition, it would have been to Kalinina. It was absolutely beautiful. She showed perfection throughout. Just beautiful work. Not only here on the floor exercise, but
and so the top 3 finishers in the European Championships of 1990, the top 3 here, only the difference is Kalinina gets the gold, not Boginskaya. For a final word, let's go down to Hannah Storm.
Kalinina, in the end of our interview, she was mentioning that she is with a club where 2 very famous Soviet gymnasts are from. Possibly she will be the 3rd. Again, showing great form, a perfect 10 on her floor routine. Her career has been a series of almost. 2nd in the European Championships this year, 2nd at the American Cup to Kim Zemeskal. She was an alternate on their World Championship team, didn't even get to compete. She will be an alternate no longer, as she is no longer 2nd, but 1st tonight. And now we go back to Larry King at the International Broadcast Center. Larry, that's it from the Tacoma Dome. What a night.
Fabulous night with the gymnasts. We have a full night of action coming up, more wrestling. And wow, what action tomorrow. Boxing. Eric Griffin will be here and Jeremy Williams.